I'm sure everybody's heard of Wells Fargo Bank. I've been dealing with this bank for 10 to 15 years. And for the last 2 years, for some various reasons, unknowing to me, that I've been billed from Google and PlayStation these simple fees. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not a lot of money. But over 2 years, every month, Wells Fargo hits my checking account for $2 or $3, $2.99, $12.99, $11.99, and other charges from PlayStation. Reason why I deactivated my Google Pay, because anytime you go on the internet and pay anything, it's susceptible to fraud. I'm 71 years old. I live on a fixed income. Had past heart attacks. Now I have permanent heart issues that I have to have open heart surgery in the near future. And this is what I got to deal with. Wells Fargo taking money out of my account and putting me further in debt. And it's not that it's $20, $30, but each one of these, and I filed a complaint with the fraud division. They blocked my card. In fact, I already ordered another one. And you go and talk to someone live at the bank or a customer service person, they're about as clueless as a deer when headlights are turned on. Now, don't get me wrong, and I'm talking about my personal experience. My personal experience with Wells Fargo, besides hearing all this fraud and stealing customers' accounts and the whole quota thing, I get that. But that never affected me. So I can't say anything about that because there's no accounts in my name. And the only fraud that I've dealt with is what happened in the past 2 years. I talked with a Mr. Rodriguez, who's in the corporate office, who I talked to and filed this complaint with. I talked to another person, and I forget what his name is, and I talked with him today, and he was the one that informed me that this whole Google and PlayStation thing has been going on for the past 2 years. And my response was, duh, I've been telling your customer service team that for months. In fact, I've been told them about that last year. And no matter how many times you complain, they ignore you. They try to shove me some smoke up my ass about, well, you should have overdraft protection, or you have to call your vendors, call Google, call Apple, and tell them about your problem. My response was bullshit. Unless I authorize an auto pay, you don't pay shit. You just don't. So why should I talk to Google? Why should I talk to Apple when I didn't authorize it in the first place? It's your job as my bank, the protection of my money, to do your damn job. And that is not allow any purchases I didn't authorize go through your bank. And that's common sense. Unless somebody hacked into my account or somehow took over my checking account, which they didn't. So it leads me to understand that there's somebody internal who's doing this. Because it's consecutively taken out every month, the same amounts. And it's like I said, it's not a lot of money, but you take out $9.99, $11.99, $12.99, $5.99 each month. And when you do it each month, Wells Fargo, not with the whole bunch of these purchases, they attach each one with a $35 overdraft fee. Now, do the math. This has been going on for 2 years, according to people I talked to from Wells Fargo Fraud Department. Now, it's funny how the fraud department caught this, but these dumbass customer service people didn't catch it, no matter how many times I complained. And I talked about this on Facebook, like I'm talking about it now. I put posts on Facebook. All my grievances I have with anything, I put on Facebook for the world to see. Because I am the person you don't fuck with. I just am. And I don't give a shit who you are. President of the United States, Pope, Donald Trump, police, judges. I got a fucking cousin who's a district judge here in Colorado. Racist, bigoted KK Colorado. Which to me is one of the dumbest ass things that I ever heard. That a black man is a judge in a white supremacy, racist, bigoted terrorist state controlled by white supremacy. I don't get that. I wouldn't have any part of that. You could take that job and shove it up your ass. But getting back to my point, you don't fuck with me. Because I will come after you and hold you accountable for your fraud, Wells Fargo. And I don't care what else is going on with your $1 million lawsuits, and you make $78 billion in 2021. That $1 million that you pay out, or multiple $1 million you pay out, is a drop in a bucket when you're making $78 billion. So let's talk about that. The reason why banks, like Bank of America, is another shithole. And I dealt with them too. My sister worked for them for 20 years, and she knows it in and out what goes on. And she even talked about Bank of America. And I had an account with Bank of America that I closed because they are thieves. My personal experience with Wells Fargo, like I said, I never had a problem until these last 2 years. And I graduated high school, got my associate's degree. So, by any means, I'm not a dumb black man. And I don't accept customer service on any level. Bullshit. Because you're just puppets dangling from corporate America's strings to say whatever they want you to say. Just like when you call about your bill or you call about anything that has to do with a refund. And it's funny how they will charge you money, Wells Fargo, for charges that you didn't authorize at $35 a pop. But when it comes to refunding me my money, you want to take your time. See, that's bullshit. And that's all corporate America. You take people's money, big box stores, retail, online bullshit. You take people's money, but when they catch you in your fraud, you take forever giving their money back. It's like I said, I am that guy you don't fuck with. You will pay me back my money. Or if need be, yeah, I'll go to the Senate committee, go to Congress, put a complaint in there, put a complaint with the FBI too. Because it's fraud. Now, if I went out there and stole from your bank, Wells Fargo, you lock me the fuck up. You don't have a problem with that. But you steal from me, that's a different thing. That's white collar crime, right? Bullshit. It's the same thing if I went and robbed one of your banks. It's theft. I don't care what you call it. It's theft. Especially when I didn't authorize it. That's just basic common sense. Basic banking. Anything that is not authorized, you get refunded for that money. It's like somebody hacking your account. You can't be liable for hackers hacking your account and spending all your money. It's not your fault. It's a hacker. That's your dumbass security system that was breached. My experience with Wells Fargo has been good. I'd be the first person to tell you that. But it's like I said, the last 2 years has been a shit show. And they know it. And I put a complaint into the fraud department, and they called it. Mr. Rodriguez took me through everything, and he says, you need to give me all the dates and amounts of every transaction. I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a month of these fees and your overdraft fees that you attach to them. And I said, you're going to find out that they are consecutively taken out of my account every month. And he found out for it to be true. And he says, I'm going to turn it over to the fraud department. And getting off the phone with the person in charge of Wells Fargo's fraud department today, he says, ooh, what's his words? Ooh, this has been going on for the last 2 years. No shit, Sherlock. It's like I said, I told your customer service that. They didn't do shit. So the breakdown was your security division as well as your local bank division's fault. Because they allowed unauthorized charges onto my checking account. I could care less how many millions of dollars you pay out for fraud with the other bullshit going on in Wells Fargo. You just don't fuck with my money. Because I will be the person, will be your greatest nightmare. Because I don't accept corporate bullshit and excuses and lies and cover-ups. You take my money, you give it back. Or I have your ass in the palm of my hand. Plain and simple. And that's to anybody. While I filed a civil lawsuit with the ACLU against the state of Colorado for racist, bigoted terrorism, that they abuse my constitutional rights, they abuse my civil rights, they will abuse my civil liberties. And that's what ACLU is for, right? Just like what went on in Boulder, Colorado. A black man strapped to a chair while some dumbass white supremacist asshole shot him through electrical bolts from a taser. Same shit. I don't put up with it. I don't. Just like white cops found drunk, same bullshit, in Aurora and around Colorado. You don't do shit. You got live videos showing this dumbass white supremacist asshole drunk in his cruiser, and you had to drag him out. DUI. That's why you DUI Colorado's bullshit. Some white dude had 6 consecutive DUIs. He gets probation. Black man, no criminal record, first time offense. You want to throw him in jail for 3 months. Fuck that. It ain't gonna happen. And you got these punk ass attorneys, these ambulance chasers, just like what Wells Fargo does. You don't do shit. It's like Bagley Law Firm with me. You didn't do shit. You want $3,000 and you don't show up to court. You want $3,000 but you don't show up as my defense. One time, your dumb ass showed up. That was it. You filed an appeal with the Supreme Court here in racist, bigoted ass Supreme Court here in Colorado. They denied my appeal. You just accepted it. Didn't try anything else. Didn't bring up the fact like I told you. How are you going to get justice in a racist ass, bigoted ass state like Colorado? What black person is going to get justice in a racist ass, bigoted ass state run by the Ku Klux Klan? Now run by the Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, QAnon. What Jewish person is going to get justice? What Native American person is going to get justice? What Mexican is going to get justice? What Asian person is going to get justice? This is what I'm talking about. This is the dumbass shit I will never accept, and I will keep that in your face in your face to the day I die, America. Because it's bullshit. Because you don't talk about it. Because it's not on 9 News. Because Kyle Clark doesn't talk about it. Bunch of punk ass sissies. You're afraid of your own skin. You won't get your ratings. Don't fuck with me. And Wells Fargo, I ain't waiting no weeks for my money. You got days. Or I will file civil lawsuit against your ass for the last 2 years of stealing my money. I don't give a shit what you do with other people. That's their problem. Mine. You don't fuck with my money. Because I don't take your excuses. I don't take your lies. And yeah, I'll keep my bank account with Wells Fargo. Because this is the very exact thing that people do wrong. When things go wrong, they leave. You don't. You stay. And you fight. It's like here in Colorado. I can pack up and leave too. No, but I'm not. I fight. Because you hypocritical assholes talk about terrorism. And you go out there and spend $300 million a day for 20 years killing brown-skinned people. Call them terrorists. But you don't do shit about KKK, white supremacy, Proud Boys, QAnon, Oath Keepers, white terrorists, white corporate America. Same thing. Criminals. And the FBI, you don't do shit. How many times does Wells Fargo need to be sued multiple times for fraud, and you don't do shit? Nobody goes to jail. FBI, Merrick Garland, DOJ, Congress, Senate, House of Representatives. Bullshit. Federal Reserve, who controls banking? $78 billion tells you to kiss my ass. Just hit me with a couple $1 million lawsuits. Chump change that I can pay in a blink of an eye. But you ain't hurting me. Because I make that shit in a day. I get that. It's like with Trump. Some punk-ass, draft-dodging, pervert, xenophobic, misogynist, inbred, in love with his daughter, narcissistic sociopath, mental case, fat-ass, overweight, dumbass that you let run rampant over the Justice Department, FBI, CIA, all of you, in a basket that he just closed the top on, and you don't do shit except allow him to run rampant over America, Justice Department, democracy, and you don't do shit. You just sit there on TV every day. Found top secret shit in Mar-a-Lago. This is what I'm talking. Just like Wells Fargo Bank is above reproach. They exist, and this is what fucking pisses me off. They exist above the law. If anything and anybody exists above the law, rule of law doesn't mean shit. And that's all you judges, including my cousin, Daryl Shockley, who's a district judge in Denver, Colorado. You too. Anytime anybody exists above the law, there is no fucking law. So you might as well open up the doors of the prisons and let everybody out. Open up the doors of your state, local jails. Let everybody out. Because law don't mean shit if the ultra wealthy exists above the law. Read your Constitution. Dumbasses. Judges, lawyers, governors, mayors, state representatives. If you're so-called educated with your Harvard, Yale, Oxford college degrees in politics and law, read it. Don't exploit it. Find loopholes of bullshit that they pay you multi-millions of dollars to get their dumb criminal asses out of prison, which you're doing right now with Donald Trump, which Wells Fargo is doing the same exact thing. Don't tell me, an elderly black man, that you want to hold me accountable for bullshit. And you do 10 times worse than some misdemeanor bullshit. That's the problem I have. And the reason why Wells Fargo gets away with their bullshit and fraud. Not with me. Because Wells Fargo will pay me my money. If I have to file a multi-million-dollar lawsuit myself, because they got on record for the last 2 years this shit been going on. So don't tell me you didn't have proof, because I got the person's voice read on my phone. Proof. Live proof. People I've talked to. Mr. Rodriguez in your corporate office. Wells Fargo. So you can't hide. Say that it didn't happen. I am the person you don't want to fuck with. And that's any of you. Because no, you don't intimidate me, you don't scare me. I don't give a shit how much power you got. God has the ultimate power. And the person that will bring you down won't be me. Because I'm flesh and bone just like you. It will be the Almighty God that brings you down and humble you. So we can talk about Wells Fargo all day long, all night long. They're just like Bank of America and every other bank, Chase Bank, all of them. They're all the same. Take advantage and rip off their customers every day. You just got to be smart enough, like I am, to find it. I could be just like everybody else. Dumbasses just look at their checking account. Don't check your monthly statements. Just let them just take money. Not me. You ain't taking my money. I worked during COVID pandemic, and the dumbasses from AutoZone, who I work for as an assistant store manager, I have a heart attack. I'm out of work. Didn't have the common decency or the moral ethics to send me flowers when I'm laying on a hospital bed, whether I'm going to live or die. But you want to throw me in jail for 3 months. Colorado. Then spend a dime, AutoZone, for disability. You take your bullshit insurance companies and change them so you're not liable for disability. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So we can't blame Wells Fargo that does every criminal ass thing that any other corporation does in America. Who do you hold accountable? Congress, Senate, House of Representatives, President of the United States, legislators, lawmakers. That's who I hold accountable. Because this bullshit wouldn't exist if you had laws to prevent it. To prevent Wells Fargo from pulling their bullshit. AutoZone, Colorado's white supremacy, racist, bigoted, terrorist courts. I don't blame them. I blame you. The leaders, so-called leaders of this country. Wells Fargo, you can pay the little money that you owe me, which is nothing but pocket change. Or I can file with my attorney a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. That's up to you. I have proof. I have all the proof I need. I have witnesses that I've talked to already at your corporate office. I ain't afraid of you. Just because you're some big-ass executive bank ass. Who am I afraid of? Your dumbass CEO who makes multi-millions of dollars for ripping off innocent, elderly, working-class people? Like you're not making enough money? $78 billion last year that you need to rip off your customers? Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Chase, all of you. You all do the same shit. But not here. Not with me. Because I'm not going to let you. Because I'm not going to let the state of Colorado racist bigotry exists in a so-called State of the Union. Isn't that what we had the Civil War for? Let me stop. That's why I said it's bullshit, dude. Oh, I'll get my money, don't get me wrong. And I won't leave Wells Fargo Bank either. Because I'll be there for the next time they fuck up. I don't run from a fight. I bring it to you. So you have a good day. God bless. And I'll see you the next time when you try to blow smoke up my ass.